Hi everyone, and thanks for watching our first weather updates on February 15th, 2023. Now, just say that I'm having two updates today simply because I was out all day yesterday, but today really because I'm recording it on Tuesday and you're seeing this on a Wednesday. So I was out all day yesterday. Not all day, but just for like a few hours in the afternoon and the evening. So right now it's you know 20 past 10 in the evening. I got back about an hour ago. I had dinner and that sort of stuff. So I'm only able to sit down and record at this point. So you're probably seeing this around like 7 in the morning, depending on what time you get up. Are you an early riser or a late riser? Anyway, you're probably seeing this at sometime in the morning. I normally I don't have this sort of stuff in the morning, but simply because I was out all day, all afternoon, and all evening. I only got home an hour ago, so I have to record this I have to record this now. But because of all the processing of all of the what do you call it uploading, um, after that, after all that's done, this video at earliest could only come out at like midnight or something like that, and so I think it's good to get it released at a time when I have more of an audience available, if you see what I mean. So enjoy part one, our first update of the weather today, or from my point of view, it's still tomorrow. Right. So today we're going through for part one anyway. Yesterday's um GFS GFS ECM GEM UKM runs icon and arpeg. 12Z runs, but some runs have the 18Z out, and I'll just see the 18Z for those runs as well. So starting off with the GFS 12Zs, I hope you understood that introduction because it was quite long-winded. Anyway, starting with the GFS run, and if we just push through again, we've established that currently high pressure is easing away to our east, and low pressure is rolling in off the Atlantic for a brief period. So a bit of rain tonight across the country, and as well as tomorrow evening. But then into Thursday, the high pressure again is making a move to come back, and actually on Friday morning we see quite a big low in the Northern Sea, and that'll bring gale force winds, or even stronger gale force winds, gale force winds to Scotland and possibly even Northern Ireland. So that's something to watch as we go into Friday. Maybe a named storm, but I hope not. Simply because I want there to be a nice record broken of no name storms for a whole season. That's weird. I don't think the charts have updated properly. Anyway, high pressure sort of boiling up from the south through the weekend. You can see it nicely ridging up from the south, and that should if the skies are clear. Let's just see if we've got some nice clear skies. Not really, unfortunately, but we do get some decent clear bricks there for a time. So if we get some decent clear bricks by night, frosty and cold, but by day, spring-like possibly, pleasant in the sun. So it always depends on the cloud amounts, and then the high just stays around us into Tuesday next week. Before next Wednesday, the high pressure retrogresses towards Greenland. You can see retrogression there. It's when you bring pressure patterns or like areas of pressure, like the high pressure and the low pressure, from east to west. In contrast to the zonal flow, which is west to east, and that's what we're seeing. Excuse me. That's what we're seeing on the GFS run. Let's see the upper air temperatures with this. Yeah, we bring some bitterly cold air through. -12 Celsius ice therm at 850 HPA into the south of the country, and the -10 Celsius ice therm into Scotland and Northern England. So quite a nice cold spell. But the high pressure soon moves eastwards, and probably gives us some cold, frosty weather by night. But by day, it should be quite pleasant if it's sunny. So that's quite nice until we get to the very end of the run. The high pressure. What's this? the high pressure just sort of goes slightly to our northwest, allows a bit of a cooler northeasterly wind through the upper temperatures. Not that bad really, above freezing over the whole country, so quite nice. Now the 18Z run is only just coming out, so I'm just gonna run through it quickly. So same pressure patterns on. There we go. Same story really. We bring in the low pressure briefly off the Atlantic before high pressure moves in. We get that storm for Scotland on Friday, and then we push the high pressure up through the weekend. Although the 18Z run has less of an influence of the high pressure, so you can see we sort of have some lower pressure to the northwest as well as the mild winds from the southwest, moisture bearing winds. So probably a bit of drizzle there before the high pressure sort of tries to move northwards again towards Greenland. Retrogression before once again we get a brief cold snap into February 23rd. Yeah, again, same sort of upper air temperatures on February 23rd. ECMWF run. So again, if this is, there we go, high pressure slinking eastwards to allow low pressure enough the Atlantic briefly before towards the weekend. High pressure ridges up from the south. It pushes up from the south. Excuse me. The low pressure over Scotland a little bit more fierce than that one, I think. Then moving on, we build the high pressure up. Although I think there's a bit less of an influence on this run compared to the GFS 12Z. And then as we go into next Tuesday, we bring in a cooler wind from the northwest. And again, by February 23rd, we pull it on the northerly winds. Upper temperatures are not as cold as the GFS run, but still quite cold. And then the high pressure slowly begins to allow some mild array. See around the top of the high to come in from the northwest. You can see the -5 Celsius ice is pushing away, and the 0 Celsius ice is coming in around the top of the high. So probably going milder after that point. GEM run. Going through same story. Low pressure briefly off the Atlantic before high pressure ridges up from the south, killing off the any rain, any showers before we get that deep low for Scotland on Friday. That's something to watch. And then we push through into Sunday, and we build the high pressure up from the south. Probably quite nice for the south. Maybe a bit cloudier for the north, and then the high pressure, if there we go, pushes to the east and early next week, and then it also extends to our west, and we pull in a little bit of a cooler wind from the northwest. And into Thursday, February 23rd, we don't really get a northerly plunge until we do in the end on Friday, February 24th. So upper temperatures, let's see if they're lows. Yeah, a nice little shot of cold air coming through before milder air will probably come in around the top of the high. There we go. Got that. UK Met run. So again, high pressure is waning its influences. And in pushes a westerly wind for a brief time. Well, I say a brief time. I should say the rain-bearing westerly winds pushing through a brief time before we get a bit of a storm for Scotland on Friday. And then we get the high pressure ridging back up from the south into the weekend, killing off the rain, and we end up like this: high pressure to our south, low pressure to the north. Westerly, mild. Icon run then, and if we push again, we'll roll through this. Low pressure there off the Atlantic. You see Wednesday night, a bit of a trough there. There'll be a band of very organised rain crossing the country. Again, Friday we see that stormy system for Scotland. I'm actually hoping this doesn't get named, because it would be remarkable if we go from, early September to late August, no storms. That would be something to talk about for years if that happens. Then just going to the end of the Icon run, the high pressure just sort of weakens off to the south. We pull in a bit of a more active Atlantic wind, but this area of high pressure in the Atlantic soon will probably topple in and dry things out again. Actually, now the Icon 18Z run is coming out. Actually, it's fully out. It goes out to 120 hours. So same story. Low pressure coming off the Atlantic briefly as the high pressure sort of like loosens its grip before it regains its strength over the weekend somewhat, but we do sort of keep a trough into the east, and that might delay the clearance of any rain. But in the end, Sunday evening, high pressure over us. Our pairs run, again, we push in the westerly winds of the Atlantic. Getting a bit of a stormy system there for Scotland on Friday. And as we push through, high pressure trying to ridge up again from the south. And it's trying to do so, but I think for the south, it will dry things out there. Our pressure also has the 18 coming out. So again, westerly winds off the Atlantic. Midweek into Friday, and then after that, the high pressure should start to build up from the south. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our first weather update for Ireland for today, February 15th. Sorry now. I'll be back in the evening with another updates. So bye for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you then.